So, Leagues 3, Shattered Relics, has been out for about a month now, and I've played it far more than I ever played the last two. I'm waking up excited in the morning to get on RuneScape, and I don't think I've experienced that since I was in middle school. I've made 2 videos about League so far, and I won't be making any more of them, because the reason I made them is to kind of just show me and my friends having fun, and none of them are playing anymore. I made this Discord for all of us to just hang out in for when we're playing leagues, and within a week, this Discord quickly turned into a Wordle result Discord, and no one was playing leagues. I could have never predicted that there was a universe that existed in which I am the last one playing RuneScape, yet here we are. As much as I'm enjoying the league, I can completely understand why my friends, along with a huge chunk of players, no longer enjoy it and don't really want to play anymore. And after experiencing so much of this league, it's made me realize that Shattered Relics just didn't work. Hey, what's up? It's me, Manscaped Guy. Can you take a wild guess of who's sponsoring today's video? You want to hear something crazy? It's the sound of hygiene. Have you guys ever seen the Lawnmower 4.0? Who hasn't? Having a lawnmower is like having an iPhone. Everyone talks about it, has it. You're like a weird Android green bubble user if you don't have one of these by now. Cordless, waterproof, flashlight. 2022 is insane. I remember when I first heard about the Crop Reviver and Crop Preserver, and now I can't imagine what it'd be like without them. These are a game changer, believe me. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of body wash. They didn't even tell me to talk about the body wash, but I'm gonna do it anyway because it smells so good. You should try it. Manscaped just has like an endless list of product that will just improve your hygiene life, and I don't know how they do it, but everything just smells so good, it's not even funny. Personally, have the Performance Package 4.0. Highly recommend it if you want like the jack of all trades here. Head to manscaped.com and use promo code Jimmy to get free international shipping and 2 free gifts. And you get 20% off. And you can come back to this video and thank me when you're done, because you will. It's respectful. Thanks to Manscaped for sponsoring today's video. This is the RuneScape that everyone fantasizes about. This is me chopping the logs in the normal game. I start chopping the tree, I get 1 log and 1 XP drop. Now here's me chopping trees on leagues. As you'll see, the log did not appear in the... Did you tell him to like the video? Kind of doing a thing here. Yeah, we'll tell him. I swing at the tree, I get 3 logs instead of the normal 1 I get. Where's the logs? They're in my bank already. 3 logs just got chopped and got put into my bank. You also may have noticed the XP drop. I have a 12 times experience multiplier, which is applied to 3 logs. So I'm basically getting 36 times XP every log that I cut. Now watch this. Those logs didn't go in my bank. They just burned themselves. 12 times XP for each one in both woodcutting and fire making. So you see what I mean? One action in game that normally would have just given me 1 log and 100 XP just gave me 8,460 XP. Yeah, we're gonna be very burnt out. This is gonna be rough. Last year's Trailblazer League was incredible, taking inspiration from this trend of area-locked Iron Men. Trailblazer let everyone experience some of these insane restrictions without needing to deprive themselves of basic human needs for weeks just to get a level or 2. Trailblazer was some of the most fun people have ever had on RuneScape ever. Myself, along with many, many others, had sky-high expectations for Shattered Relics League. You know, Group Iron Man came out and Shattered Relics got pushed back 3 months from October to January. But hey, you know, things happen, I guess. One really, really good promo later, we get January 18th, 2022, which is the release of Shattered Relics League. Not only was some of the hype depleted because of that initial delay, but there was also a delay on release day. They had to shut down the servers about an hour into leagues. Everyone had to wait around for like 3 to 4 hours before they could play again. But you know, they fixed it. The servers were back online and leagues was underway finally. Complicated and messy are two words that kind of come to mind here. This league had way too much going on. From the new lore that was introduced, 53 different fragments that you can mix and match, the set effects that they give, all of this is taking place on some of the worst UI ever programmed in any game ever. And you also get Sage's Renown points, those aren't the points. That's completely different things. And you gotta unlock one skill at a time. You can unlock quests, don't do quests. It's bad to do quests. Unlock each boss, and you gotta do the tasks to get those points, and then you gotta get the fragments so you can do tasks easier. What the fuck is going on? There's so much, dude. There's no area restrictions, so you've got the entire world, which in theory should give you a lot of freedom. Choose your own path and make your own journey. Players were trying to figure out what to do, where to go next, how to do things, but all of this stuff together just felt exhausting. So how did we go from Trailblazer that implemented this crazy restriction idea so well to this? Well, let's talk about a few things, and as we do best, go back a little bit. One of my dear friends once said this: to craft your own journey and play by your own rules has something beautiful to it. And I think that really resonated with a lot of people, because we've got 86 different YouTube series of area-restricted Iron Men, and these accounts are known as Snowflake Iron Man accounts. Even though restricted accounts have kind of always been a thing, the community just kind of loved watching and experiencing this psychotic playstyle. Meanwhile, we've got Jagex kind of assessing the game, seeing where it's at. The only temporary game mode has been Deadman mode. Casual players really were not competing. The thing that kind of lured players into Deadman mode was the appeal of an XP multiplier. These levels that took dozens and dozens of hours to progress no longer took that time, and it felt good. And that's kind of what stuck with people. So Jagex kind of analyzes this a little bit. Now, if they were to release servers that were just XP multiplied, that would just be a private server. So the solution here was to add a twist. In a league.
Shut the fuck up.
November of 2019 rolls around, and Jagex is like, hey, you guys know Current? What? Well, you do now, fucker. Welcome to Twisted League, the newest competitive game mode to test your efficiency. Do you want disgusting XP rates? Do you want to see how efficient you truly are compared to the other efficient players? We've got fucking relics. Have you ever chopped a tree and put that shit right in your bank? Have you ever gotten 99 fire making in a fucking hour? Welcome to Twisted League. No one had to worry about getting PK'd and losing any progress here. Everyone just kind of got to play the game and be efficient and see how fast you can get crazy levels and endgame items. Doing it on an area that no one was really familiar with. This giant landmass that nobody really gave a fuck about except for the catacombs was now the only place you could be to train everything. It let people delve into the content inside the game that they would have probably never known about. Players got to experience this crazy restriction of an account without the real restrictions that would make you bash your head against a wall when you needed an agility level. It was brand new, the first of its kind. Everyone was pretty hype about this new idea. A sequel was imminent. Kevin had a series called Gridlocked, where he basically restricted himself to certain regions until he achieved an item in each area of the game. In 2020,
as Gardner kinda go hard. And it's Ciele, it's got a beautiful park. Party room in the day, the rising sun after dark. The Defender, baby, you can bet that I'm with that. White Knights too, but not the Sims in a twist chest.
Jagex took the gridlocked concept and implemented it into their league system with the mechanics of the last one. So everyone once again got to experience the whole restriction thing with things that made gameplay so fucking enjoyable. Players had to make 8 to 9 decisions tops. You pick which area you want, you pick your relic for that entire tier, and then you play the game. It was challenging, but it was simple. And since Trailblazer was successful, it was time for a trilogy. Before we get into this, everything I say here and bring up, no disrespect to the Jagex moderators and the devs that put their heart and soul into this. I have enjoyed this league a lot. A round of applause for the Jagex devs that made this league.
Everyone clapping is real.
So let's talk about why this league felt so crazy different than the last two and why this didn't really work for a lot of people. The first thing that I realized was boundaries. Twisted and Trailblazer Leagues both restricted the players to certain areas of the game. It pushes players in a certain direction towards certain content because there's only so much you can do in certain areas of the game. But in Shattered Relics, when you spawn in for the first time, you've got the entire map open. At first it works because you're in Catherby, you've got 2 skills unlocked. It's obvious you should probably just run 2 feet over to the fishing spots and train that up for a second. When you're early mid-game and you've got the entire map open, you start thinking way too far ahead. There were so many things that you could have done. It felt like there wasn't really a meta. The most effective tactic available. And yes, I also just discovered 3 hours ago that that was an acronym. No idea, just kind of said it with everybody else. As much as Leagues is about fun, it's also about efficiency. The players who participate in Leagues are like the biggest fans of efficiency because you've got the XP multipliers and you just want things as fast as fucking possible. In Trailblazer, the meta was simple. Last recall. That's what people were doing. It became so efficient they had to nerf last recall and stop people in their tracks because they just kind of enjoyed themselves a lot more than anyone who didn't have that. I didn't have last recall. The thing about Trailblazer is these decisions you had to make about relics and the different areas you unlocked, they did truly shape your path and this style of gameplay you had to do for the rest of the league, because once you picked it, you picked it. There was no shuffling around fragments and relics. You couldn't go to the bank and fucking configure your set effect. You had your relic and that was it. The fragments in the game are what made people so exhausted so quickly. What a nauseating experience it's been just configuring this. Every time you go to a bank. If I'm doing Slayer and I go to do a farm run in between tasks, I have to go to the bank, I've got to open up this interface from hell and configure my fucking farming thing. The fragments that exist for something like farming are incredible, so if I didn't put them on before I do a farm run, I would be slapping my own ass, and hard, very hard. There are fragments and set effects for every skill you're doing in this game. If you're going from one to the other, you've got to fucking do this. When you're in the league mindset, in this competitive, I gotta go mindset, you don't want to fucking sit in a bank and scratch your head thinking about what fucking rocks to put in the little fragment holes, trying to figure out what set effects you can create, questioning yourself if there's a combination of these things you can do that are better, and you're just kind of freaking out, having an internal psychotic meltdown in the bank every fucking hour. The thing that made me contemplate quitting multiple times is the UI, the main interface you have to interact with every time you do an activity in the game. Everything to do with the league itself is through this interface. I can't help but wonder if anybody at Jagex play tested the leagues in early to late game for like 2 hours during development or during that 3-month grace period that they had to work on this. I don't think a singular dev play tested this league, because if they did, the first fucking instance where they had to go from fishing sharks to gearing up for a Slayer task, they would have realized that they vomited for a fucking reason because they had to interact with the UI. What the fuck happened? You just get more and more irritated the longer you sit here on this disgusting fucking screen. It took them 3 weeks to realize they should put an unequip all button, since people are unequipping all of them and putting new ones in every hour. You have to manually fucking put them back. The best thing about this UI is something programmed by a beautiful, wonderful individual that created the preset plugin. This is a RuneLite plugin that allows you to save presets of the fragments. This was not a thing that Jagex thought to do. Having presets of these things you are changing around so often. 100% of the people I've talked to about the league have complained about the UI. The thing that lets you play the league and interact with the mechanics of the league. But the preset plugin is a savior. I don't know who made the preset plugin, but thank you from the bottom of my heart. You probably fucking prevented me, along with thousands of other players, from quitting this league early. Sorry, I've been bottling up those emotions for a while. I just had to let them out, you know? So I think the league just lacks direction. It just feels like there's not a smooth way to play this. Granted, it shouldn't be smooth. It's supposed to be challenging, but it should be challenging in a way that allows you to think straight. And I feel like that's kind of impossible with this league. I think there was just too much. There was a lot of factors that kind of contributed to a bunch of players being kind of over it very quickly. You can only exhaust a player so much in a game mode that's supposed to be fast-paced, competitive, and kind of fight a RuneScape burnout. With moments that kind of stick you in a bank, I think the map being open entirely was too much freedom. I think the fragments was a good concept, but it kind of just takes away from that unique feel of creating your own path. Nothing about it makes it feel unique to you. Everyone is just kind of lost and helping each other feel not lost. I think the key here is to just simplify, much like how Trailblazer let 9 to 10 decisions total shape the entirety of your gameplay and let players have a unique experience based on what they chose because they had to commit to something. Obviously, I think Leagues is going to continue. It looks like there's a lot of stuff in place for it to continue. Hope they learn a few things from the feedback of the players after this one. Because, you know, I'm going to be looking forward to the next league just as much as I did for this one. This league's a good time. But other than that, I think that's all I really got. I guess I'll end this with just a shout out to my friend Tal. He actually produced the song that released alongside Shattered Relics League. I don't think it got nearly as much love as it deserves. It was beautifully done, both video and composing wise. So go check it out. I'll leave the link in the description. Tell him how great he is. But that's it. See you guys soon with By Release. Bye.